tonight's meeting of the Armada Village Council. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Want to call the roll?
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Cronin.
Here.
Dare.
Here.
Duffy.
Here.
Garza. Here. Stirrup.
Here.
Council, you've had a chance to review the agenda. Could I have a motion?
I'm gonna
Oh.
pull off the consent, that's for consent, go ahead. I pull it off under consent now here, go ahead.
You can pull it up now.
I can pull it up now, all right. I wanted to pull off the special event permit application for the AMVets. I didn't have an agenda statement for it, and I meant to put it in next week, but I put it on this agenda, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Are there any citizen comments?
Hi, me, Annie.
Yes.
Hi.
Please identify yourself, your address, and we got 3 minutes.
Okay, Anne Marie Lietto, Main Street resident. Actually just here to talk about a parking ticket that I had gotten on the 29th. So I live right on the corner here, where am I? Yeah, right here. And, I had went out to Moss Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor to visit my nephew after he got in a bad accident. And I got home pretty late, and it was a Friday night, and there was no parking in the spots right next to my apartment building, so I had to park on Main Street so I could go home to my kids. And when I woke up the next morning, my kids were like, "Hey, I think you got a parking ticket." I'm like, "There's no way I got a parking ticket." And I went downstairs and there was a parking ticket. So I'm just wondering, since during the weekends, like Friday through Sunday, we do get a lot of people parking in these 6 spots that are right here, how many parking tickets am I going to have to pay for? And how many days am I gonna have to leave work early to make sure that I can park by my house before we do something about the parking?
I know you know what your question is. You trying to have your parking ticket overruled, or?
I've already talked to the chief about it, but
Okay.
there needs to be something done. Obviously, we've discussed this 1,000 times about the parking issue, and with the signs on Main Street where it says no parking 3 to 6, I'm not gonna get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go downstairs and move my car. You know what I mean? So if we could take those no parking 3 to 6 or no parking during like snow emergencies from 3 to 6, change it somehow to where Main Street residents aren't having to not be able to park where they live. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Are there any other citizen comments?
Hi, Ron Richter, I live on Franklin, right at Torrey, the grocery store. So I was going through the website, I was hoping somebody could help me. I couldn't find the place in there where we list the vision of the village, the organization's vision, what we see as the, you know, the mission, the vision of the board, or where the individual departments list their mission, like the sewer department's mission is to keep the sewage under control, or the water department's vision is to always have clean water. I was looking for that, and I didn't know where it was, and I was hoping someone could help me with where that was.
It's not on the website, I can tell you that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
surmised that because
Yeah.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, you asked if we could help you where it was, it's not on the
So
website, I know that.
is it on the desk in the office? Or?
I don't have it, but
You could talk to planning.
Well, they wouldn't have that. You know, we don't really discuss what the the comments are, but you could, if you want to get to know what any departments, what their vision is, if you call in the office, they'll get a hold of that council person who is over that department. Like if you wanted to know the sewer department, they would get a hold of the sewer commissioner, and then that person would get a hold of you. Okay. Yeah. We do have a master plan that's being updated, but I don't know that that answers what you want, but anyhow, are there any other council comments? Yes, Kevin?
Kevin Grant, Armada resident, I'll keep this very short. I'd like an update on the status of the snow removal ordinance. Thank you.
Are there any other council comments?
I have another one. Annie, Armada resident. So the Monday after I got that ticket, I wasn't sure that I was gonna bring this to your attention, but when I was coming out of my apartment on the Monday morning, I was stopped by a newer police officer who asked me if I was a gang member and if I knew where to find drugs and guns, and if I could get him insight as to where to find drugs and guns, and assumed that I'm in a gang because of my tattoos.
What I would suggest is go to the chief or call the office. They'll get a hold of the police commissioner, and that person will get, you can talk to them about it and they'll do some checking for you.
I appreciate you.
Okay, are there any other council comments?
Yeah, I'm.
Andrew, did you have something?
Okay.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay, okay, being no further citizen comments, we have no presentations tonight. Administrative reports. We'll take the longest first, go ahead, Ross.
Go slow.
Ross said he had
I don't know, I might
assumptions
give him
there.
a run for his
one.
money.
Okay, well, we'll go with you next then.
You know, that's, all right, I'm just, at that last meeting, I said I was waiting for the budget to be passed because I've got a laundry list of things that I was trying to get out the door once it was. So we have signed a 2-year renewal agreement for residential and non-residential cross-connection backflow prevention inspections. That's with HydroCorp. They're the company we've used for the last 5 years, doing a good job. We did make an adjustment, which was...
No, I'm shaky all of a sudden, like I'm having a heart
okay.
attack.
Should not
I'd be having a heart attack, who knows?
Michelle always beats me because she says, well, you put it in writing.
Writing would be helpful.
We did modify the non-residential agreement to ensure that we inspected 20% of our businesses every year, because we've got to turn that over every 5 years. So that was the change we made there. It was in the funding request that went into the budget. We have signed the row engineering quote for the wastewater treatment plant water line replacement. Got a glitch, I think you're aware of it, with the trail right-of-way. I am in contact with Department of Transportation at the county, the guys that do the easements and the permits to see what it's gonna take to be able to put a new water line through there. The right-of-way sits on top of the old water line, which has been there for, I don't know, 40, 50 years, so.
Since the 80s, right?
So, in any case, more to follow on that, but that's, just found this out last week, and it's kind of stopped the project right now. We can't really survey until we get this nailed down. Did sign a quote to Northern Air. They're the ones that have quoted on the replacement of the water treatment plant's 2 heaters that they have in there. That's the last set of heaters that we need to update. Northern has done all of our heaters now, so I've got one guy to go to for warranty issues, which I'm happy about. And the current systems do not heat it well. And you recall that we had a issue with one of the heater, actually it was a sensor, SCADA system sensor, but where we almost lost heat in one of the facilities, and you don't want them to freeze up in the winter.
Is that a replacement or a repair?
Those are replacements. Those heaters that are in there are 15 years old. Lead service line replacement report went to Eagle. The pumpage report went to Eagle. We submitted the consumer confidence report on water to Eagle. Consumers will be getting that report in their
water sewer bills coming out here in a week or so. Still working on an issue with the SCADA folks. We've got them, they've given us a price to come in and do system function checks just to make sure everything works properly. The other guys are gonna look at that sensor, but we really need to do that every several years to make sure the system is functioning as it's supposed to. So I'm talking with them on that. There's a disconnect. Same with USG on the water tower thermal blankets. They'll be out here Wednesday. I'll talk with those guys about that. We'll get that stuff straight, and then maybe we can move forward with those. Telto has already started and is close to finishing the last bit of hydrovacing that we're doing on water lines to determine the material composition of those lines. DPW is finishing up the last interior house checks. We had some small number of houses where we know it's a certain material type outside and inside it's something different. And I'm not overly concerned about it if it's a copper line and a plastic line, but I am concerned if it says it's galvanized outside and inside it's copper at the meter. It tells me somebody did a splice and we'll wind up having to dig that up and replace it. So I need to be accurate about that, and a little concerned about the DPW's records, so we're going back in and checking that too. Got a SEMCOG class, a second of 3, that it's a webinar this Thursday on downtown development. I'm going to get Mike, I just mentioned to him that they have a lot of information, and they do provide some support for master plan, yeah. I'm thinking master class, and that's not right, master plan. And last thing, I'm pretty happy about it because it's been 4 or 5 years now. We did submit the historical data to the Michigan Historical Commission for a Michigan historical marker. That was the money that we had, held and so on. It's plaque's fully paid for, so I've got the money. It's just have to submit that. So now we're going to the next stage where I get a live body to work with. If our play our cards right here, we'll have a Michigan historical marker in the downtown. Be the first one in Armada. We don't have any in the township or the village, so I'd be happy about that. Yeah, lots of stuff. All right, Michelle, I'll get back with you.
Just hand me your bag. I'll take your scraps.
You won't be able to, well,
I can decipher your writing.
okay.
I got
You
most
think
of
you
it.
can read it?
You set there, Ross?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the state of Michigan grant that we got a couple years ago for First and Simon Street.
Yes.
That is open for applications right now, but Paul from Rowe Engineering recommends that we do not apply for it again because he doesn't think we'll get it, and it costs $600 for him to help us apply for it. And he says that they like to spread the money out, and he recommends that we do not apply for it, so I'm just putting that out there and letting you know. The other thing is Dave Wagner mentioned to me a few weeks ago that Main and Fulton Street need to be restriped. It was pretty much after the budget stuff, and so I contacted the Macomb County Department of Roads. I talked to Steve there, and he gave me an estimate on pricing for striping through the company that they use, which is called PK Contracting. And the cost is $7,656 to stripe Main and Fulton Street. But if you go, when you're driving around, take a look at them, they're terrible. I mean, it's pretty non-existent in a lot of spots, and,
Did you ask Dave why he didn't realize that they weren't very good at doing the budgeting process?
I think that's just how that works. But I have no
But
idea.
it shouldn't.
But so what I wanna know is, are you guys interested in doing something like that this year? And do you want me to try and do an amendment to the budget, or do you want me to hold off and wait till next year? I mean, it
I
would
don't
really.
think we're ready to give you an answer right now.
Oh,
We can bring
well-
it back to the next meeting.
Well, yeah, because I just thought if there was interest,
I thought we
I'd put
striped
it on the.
ourselves.
Right, no, they do.
He does a lot, yeah, he marks a lot of the
He
streets with
does,
things.
but
And that's a long
But
stretch.
not Main and Fulton, like
Well,
the center lines
I
and the.
think we should
outside
talk to
lines.
him about doing it because
Okay.
I don't ever recall having the county do, or,
The last record we have of doing it was from 2006, and it was $1,200. So I don't know why we have no
well,
other.
let's see
record.
if we can do it,
Okay.
So possibly we'll bring that back.
Okay,
you know, we're gonna probably have a summer person here and we should maybe do that.
at the last meeting, we talked about, changing the signs to say public parking. I talked to, Justin, and Justin said that he doesn't wanna go forward with providing possible decals because it costs a lot more money than he thought it would, because we need something to be reflective, so he kinda took himself out of the, whatever, he's not gonna do anything with it, so I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Okay.
Today.
Would not Dave go back to the guy that made the signs and just ask them what it would cost to put an applique on it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that that was.
That was
an
the
option.
chief did, I don't think you can do that, I don't know.
Well, I've asked Dave if he was talking to
I
me,
don't
he
know
said
that
he
Dave
could.
did it, I think the chief ordered those signs, I think.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think we may, not necessarily tonight, but eventually need a motion to proceed on that. Go ahead, Amy.
The next thing is, today, I'm gonna be, trying to approve 3 street projects that I have on my 25-26 budget. And then also I would like to talk about the catch basin in the alley behind Papa's Restaurant. I talked to Andrew and he's having a lot of trouble with the drainage coming off the buildings, that it's kind of washing out his property. And I just wanna know, and it's in the agenda, so, but there's a couple different options.
Well, if it's in the
Yeah.
agenda, we'll be
We'll
talking
talk
about
about
it
it
doing.
Okay, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see, I might have one more thing. Catch basin. Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
My turn.
Yeah, Mike.
I got 4 things. If you think back, we had that big stretch of rain, some serious flows down at the plant. What else did they say? They made, F&V maintained the plant with no compliance issues. One of the 2, I think they were effluent pumps, shut down and triggered an alarm. They showed up and turned that one off, let it kind of cool down, so it must have been heating up pretty hard because of the flows. And then once it reset or cooled off, they were able to get it running again, so that was good. We'll keep tabs on it to make sure it doesn't continue to happen. Going back to where we approved moving the electrical line up in the grit room, that was a good thing. That would have been underwater and it would have cost us thousands of dollars in repairs. So sometimes we make good calls here and, thinking outside the box a little bit, we got that moved. F&V is going to prepare the 5-year license. Steve, I think you approved it the last time. It's in the contract and they charge us the rate that's in the contract to prepare it. So I wanted to let you guys know that that is happening. We had an issue on one of the sanitary sewers today. Instead of calling out Hydrovac, Dave Wagner utilized our partners, Richmond. I don't know if it was the village of Richmond or the township, I'm not sure. The village or the city, whatever it is, I apologize, Richmond, but it was Richmond. Have a nice communication with them. They came out, helped us. And it was nice to see that. I don't want to call it mutual aid, because I know that's what the terminology is in the police, but our friends next door helped us out, and sometimes I think we might help them out.
What did they do now?
They brought out, it was either a jetter or
Vac
some
truck.
kind of vac system. I'm not sure which one, I don't want to.
The ladder.
It was, okay. And they were able to clog it, a piece of plastic, I'm not sure how, got stuck, and it ended up backflowing the sewage up the thing in the ground. And so they were out there to help us, so it was great to see them come and,
They have helped in the past.
you know. So I think that's good, I'd like to just acknowledge that. Our partners in crime here are doing a good job. And my last item is, I will put it on the agenda for next time, Michelle, is a backup generator for the lift station. Ours is going on at least 10 years old, because I bought the last one, and we don't have a backup.
For the lift station?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll bring that to the next agenda meeting. That's all I have for you.
Thank you. Mike, anything on the parks?
Nothing on the parks, but map revision for the planning commission. That's what we're working on, so that will be forthcoming.
Okay.
Parks is, other than we got concerts in the parks coming up, or we are gonna fix the roof on our building there, the well, the pump house. I think money was allocated in the budget, so I am planning on having that redone.
Very good. And Joe, you got anything? Police department's good.
I do have a quick alibi.
You're already done? No, go ahead, Ross.
This is, I've been trying to get this for a while. And if you looked at the water reliability study, it calls out 5-year and 20-year projects. And one of the things that was in there is the suggestion that the elementary school is a dead-end loop and needs to connect its piping. And same with the fairgrounds. And so with respect to that, I did send out letters to the orchards, the nursing home, the school, and the fair, and talked to them about the cooperative effort we've had to flush hydrants. Those hydrants that are their hydrants, they're not our hydrants. And it's important that we flush those and move that water, but I also pointed out to them that we do not own those distribution systems. They are theirs, and so appreciate it when you look at the cost to do the school connection, which is $650,000. It is theirs, it is not the village's. We work with them, we flush the lines, we help them out, but I want to make sure that they understand it's not the
What's
village's distribution.
650,000?
To connect, that's the engineering estimate, to connect the middle school plumbing to another part of our water system, so that you have a loop. Right now, it's just a dead end. You've got one line that comes in and that water just circulates inside of that closed loop.
Well, why would they want to change it?
It tends to stagnate.
They, yeah.
And if you can't, if that water doesn't move, and one way to make it move is to flush it, but we're wasting a bunch of water doing that if we're out there flushing every other day. And if water sits, it tends to create, build up bacteria.
So have you talked to Mike Mussery or something on this?
I've talked to the custodial staff right now, but we did send a letter to them, so.
So you might want to talk to the superintendent on that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get there, but we wanted to get the initial letters out. And just remind them, they are not our distribution systems. We work with them to move the water around. We get very good quality water to the point, to the tap into the building or the tap into the fairground. But what happens once it gets on that private property is, it's not really our responsibility. So I just wanted to point that out and trying to get to it, and we get those letters out. So I've already talked to the fair, and we'll get around to Mike, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hello, yeah.
Would you like to speak? And I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to explain to you, usually you get the summary of where all the accounts stand at that moment. But this is kind of, I had a request for kind of an end of the year wrap up. So what you have is the treasurer's report, and the numbers that are off the grid there to the right. The top number is what your department had coming in, and the bottom number in the grayer, darker is what went out. So just to give you an idea, they're not exact numbers, because I have to end sooner to have the budget for the next year ready. But this is a pretty good account of the year's worth of expense. So if anybody has any
So
questions
this is
about
kind
it,
of a reconciliation set of numbers?
it's just, and adding the numbers across month by month, what went out, what came in.
Awesome, that's
Um,
good, that's good.
So if anybody has any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer them later. And the other thing was just, if you all recall, I asked you to be working on your capital improvement plans. I've had one department has turned it in so far. And just want to remind the rest of you that I need to get working on that because tax season will be here pretty soon and I won't have time for that, so. That's it, thank you.
No, thank you, Ann. Okay, moving on, to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion for the consent agenda?
I will resolve to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Support.
Okay, motion by Dare, support by Clark.
No, do it as presented because I didn't have it on here.
No. You've amended it.
You amended it.
Amended.
Right, because it is on here.
Yeah.
Is it on your?
Yeah, it's on mine.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah.
consent.
No, it's not on this sheet. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it's fine, it's fine. All right,
Okay.
Adair, who?
Okay. All in favor of the
Who was the
motion?
second?
Clark.
Steve.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Okay, no old business, moving on to new business. Policy for the installation and use of security cameras. So is that your item, Michelle?
I guess it's anybody's, but I mean, do you know enough about this, Joe?
Only that, Chief was gonna contact a few other departments to see what policies they had. I think
He contacted Jeff and, yeah. I mean, so basically because we put those cameras up on either end of the building, it was recommended strongly that we have a policy in place, so that's the policy that he and Jeff worked out. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
I don't know a lot about the camera donation, but cameras were donated.
Donated.
So essentially, the chief did check with a couple departments. I also did the same and made some amendments to his. So basically, you know, the cameras, the most important thing obviously for Michelle is, you know, that's a public record, and we wanted to make sure there was strong policy and procedures, because these cameras generally, they download to a computer and they only last about 30 days, then they recycle. So you can pull them and save them to, you know, another media, but if you don't, they're just gonna recycle every 30 days. So what we did is wanted to make sure that we address that, who has access to that. You know, it's not, we don't want anybody being able to go and see what's on those cameras. We also want to make sure that, you know, people understand that the cameras aren't directed anywhere other than village property. They don't go into neighborhoods and, you know, anybody's backyard. They're really just to guard the parking lot. Should someone trip, fall, you know, there's some damage to a vehicle that's really, or if somebody, you know, were to try to break into the village offices, you know. So basically, that's the outline of it. We tried to keep it, you know, relatively straightforward, so we did get it down to about a page and a half, but I think it touches on all the really, really important points. So just so anybody knows, it's the retention period for the images that are captured lasts for about 30 days. Again, should we get a claim or someone come in and say, hey, I think my car was damaged in the parking lot, we can download that image. But, you know, I just want everybody to understand, we're not creating a permanent record. If there's nothing of interest or no one comes in or the chief doesn't have a law enforcement reason to keep it, it's gonna just recycle.
How long does somebody have to bring a claim against us? Like, let's say I fell 60 days ago, then I come in and say, I wanna see this.
We probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have.
We would just say, no, we don't have it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
to be honest with you, if somebody were to fall, to be honest with you, and they were really hurt,
We
Yeah.
a
know.
significant injury,
Yeah,
you're
Yeah.
likely gonna know
pretty
because
quick.
we're gonna probably call Armada FD or.
Yeah, that's true.
So the more serious ones. So
Okay.
honestly, it could happen, but in a way that kind of supports us that, really, you broke your leg in the parking lot, we have no, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Jeff, I was looking for it, I think I found it. Just,
Okay.
this covers the cameras we have now and any ones that we'll
Correct.
install in the future. every once in a while, Eagle talks to us about the potential need to install cameras at well houses and stuff like that for security purposes. But I did see it.
Yeah, this is expandable to any system, DPW, your examples, so.
Okay, no, that's great.
I like the idea that well houses.
It does mention in there that only authorized personnel can review it. Do
Correct.
we need to maintain a list of who those authorized?
I think it's covered in there.
It doesn't,
I think there is a hierarchy of who gets the, let me see.
I didn't see that in there.
I think it's, the Armada chief of police has overall responsibility.
Yeah. So you would have to file, you would have to come in, or, let's say Dave Wagner said, hey, I would like to check and see if something happened at the DPW building. He would have to go to the chief, file a written request, so we have a record of it. And, he would not be able, the chief can determine how much access he'll have, what period of time he needs to look at. So it is regulated by the chief.
So basically, he's the only authorized person.
I don't think he's the only one or his designee.
Well, he can't be because
Right,
it's on the
Michelle has it.
computer and people,
But he's
they
got the
can see
overall,
who's at the
he's
door.
got the overall responsibility.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because we do have an officer that reviews the stuff on the computer,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is fine.
so we want to just cheap.
Right, so
But
what we,
ultimately, I think it just falls under him. I mean,
It does.
Yeah.
so what we did under the FOIA, let's say a FOIA came into Michelle, that FOIA request is the type of, it qualifies as a request to the chief, so she just has to send it over to Andrew, who is your designee for the
Yep.
PD. That serves as a request to the chief to pull that record.
So, could I get a motion on this, policy?
I'll make a motion that you resolve to approve the policy for installation and use of security cameras effective immediately.
Support.
Okay, motion by Shaw, support by Adair. And I guess we can do this.
Yeah. that was-
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion's approved. Okay, moving on. Computer purchase for clerk, DPW, police, and server.
So this was approved in the budget. Becky's got a quote for us. So it's for 4 computers.
And for $7,000?
Yeah, for 4.
That's $7,155.
Yep.
Well, can I have a motion on this?
I have a question first. Are we
Yep.
gonna file 4 at one time?
Yes.
Do the systems that you have now, do they cascade down to, the DPW system is old as hell. And be good to get that updated.
It's going to be updated because they're going to get a new one.
Oh, they're getting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
As part of this?
Yes, DPW.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the village, we try to buy, it's, every year, there's new computers bought, so it just depends on whose turn it is to get it. So,
David suggested that he never gets any love on computers, so that's why I was asking.
well, he's getting a new one, but
Okay, I mean, it's
Last.
just, it's gotta be able to handle the water line data that I'm gonna give him, and I've got a number of things I gotta get on this computer. Okay,
this
that's
is why
good.
Becky gets a computer, I'm not computer,
He's also getting a printer, because this is.
Yeah,
Yes,
printer's
it's-
broke.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I'd have to deal with
You
that all
should
the
be
time.
able to.
All right, Then I would make a motion to accept the quote from Dell Technologies in the not-to-exceed amount of $7,155.71 to purchase 4 Optiplex desktop computers as allowed for in the 2025-2026 approved village budget.
Support.
Without support by Shaw. Take a roll call.
Elke,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Garza,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Stirrit,
Yes.
Adair.
Okay, police administrative impound policy and procedure.
Do you know this?
I haven't read the policy, but
It's, The only change that was made was to increase the fees, administrative fees. And this is for impounding of vehicles. So the last one was done in 2013 by Howard Smith, our former chief. Yeah, and we only, so it's $350 administrative fee for an OWI impound, or $100 for all other cover the procedural applications, policy and procedure. It was just like $50, so we weren't bringing in enough to pay Larry, you know.
Process.
Yes, so that's what it is. That's the only change that was made, except for that I retyped it.
You wanna make a motion on
I
this,
will
Joe?
make a motion to resolve to approve the policy for administrative impound procedures as presented effective immediately.
Support.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion's approved. Okay. Moving on to manhole cover project. This is the one you start talking about, Amy?
Well, no, but this is one of my free projects. But we worked on, there were originally 18 manhole covers on Fulton Street that needed to be, all the asphalt around them was all
Right,
breaking
right.
up. So we put that in the budget, and then Dave Wagner missed a couple, so we had to add a couple on. So it's a little bit higher than what we had put in the budget, but I think we're okay still, because my second project was about $5,000 cheaper. So I'm hoping it's all gonna balance out in the end. So, do you want me to just make the motion, or should I? To approve the 2025 manhole cover project in the amount of $49,595 payable to Telto Contracting, Inc., as allowed for in the 2025-26 approved village budget, and to allow the street administrator to sign on behalf of the village.
Support.
Okay, we should have roll call on
Yep.
this.
Yep. Barzick,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Sturt.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that all done now? Did that?
It's all done, yes.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Nicely done.
Okay, we got the crack seal project.
Yes, so, the crack seal, Dave Wagner mentioned that, Main and Fulton Street, you know, could use a new crack sealing job. And so, I got 4 different quotes, but in the meantime, one of the quotes I got was such a good price that I asked him to add Spencer Street on, because Spencer's also a major street. And so, the total price for that ended up being $19,750. So it was well under our top quote of $27,544 for 2 streets. So I was really happy about that. So I move to approve the 2025 crack seal project for Main, Fulton, and Spencer Streets in the amount of $19,750 payable to Scadeller Construction as allowed for in the 2025-26 approved village budget, and to allow the street administrator to sign on the behalf of the village.
Support.
Clark.
Yep. Barzick,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Sturt,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Conan.
Yes. So. That's you again.
Yeah, she's busy tonight.
Sidewalk street project, go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, this is my 3rd project, and Dave Wagner went through and gave me a list of all the different sidewalks, the worst of the worst, that need to be replaced in the village. And so I budgeted for $6,500, and, kinda got it down to, well, and the village only has to pay for half of that, the homeowner has to pay for the second half of it. So, pretty much the village is gonna pay $3,102 to D&E Landscaping for 528 square feet of sidewalks.
So you wanna fix that in my motion then?
But,
I think you're
No.
good.
You're gonna pay the full.
Oh, okay, and then we're gonna get paid.
we don't have to put the entire
Oh, okay.
amount.
Yeah, you
I don't
do,
do
you
that.
do, because we have to front it and then we bill.
Yeah, so put it in
I'm
there.
sorry, my mistake.
Motion to approve the 2025 sidewalk project to replace 528 square foot of village sidewalks in the amount of $6,204 payable to D&E Landscaping and Grading, Inc., as allowed for in the 2025-2026 approved village budget, and to allow the street administrator to sign on behalf of the village.
Support. Amy, I do have a question. Have these, I can't remember how many residences, but have they been talked to at all?
They will be.
They will be.
I wanted to get this approved tonight, and then I'm gonna, there's 5 different addresses, and then letters have to go out, and then technically, I think Becky said they only had to have 5 days notice, but I don't think that's right, so I'd like to give them longer, you know, so we're gonna do that this
Okay.
week. Thank you.
Okay, so, we got the motion, make another call.
Barzick,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Okay. The South Alley Catch Basin.
This has a motion, but Amy wasn't sure if we were gonna be going.
I'm just
Through or
gonna
not,
explain
just
it real
explain
quick
it.
to everybody. Dave Wagner mentioned to me that there was a drainage problem in the alley behind Papa's Restaurant. And at the south side of Main Street, the businesses, their downspouts drain into that back alley and then proceed to run through Wyatt's property to the catch basin in the municipal parking lot next to API. Because of this issue, it washes away the gravel in Wyatt's lot, and in the winter it freezes and turns to a sheet of ice. And I do have a video on my phone if anybody wants to see it, because I wasn't able to go out, so Andrew sent me a video. But Dave Wagner's solution is to put a catch basin in the alley or just behind the alley on Wyatt's property and run an underground pipe to connect the catch basin to the existing catch basin in the municipal lot next to API. He also mentioned that he could connect all 4 downspouts, 2 on Wyatt's building, 2 on API's building, to the underground pipe also to help even more with the issue of, roading, all the gravel. The quote from Telto Contracting came in at $24,460, and that is not including the 4 downspouts. And that would be an additional $15,880 to hook up the downspouts to the pipe. A total of $40,340.
So you only have the one bid?
Yeah.
Yes, we only have one bid. This just happened kind of last week. So, and with, that money will come out of the general fund, not out of any streets. That was my question before you mentioned that.
Yeah,
And then also, we can get more quotes.
I think we really need to look at this a lot longer. I don't know what, when they, this is something that's just came up and,
Well, for that price, we would definitely
I
need more
think
quotes.
we need to
And it's
look
not
into
budget.
this.
And I'd like to comment, I enjoy having business in Armada here, been here my whole life. It's been an ongoing problem. It's been brought up to several people. It's kind of one of those things I kind of just kept pushing away. But it's became a big problem, cost-wise, putting gravel back there. I enjoy, sharing the property with people passing through there. There's a lot of businesses that use it also. It's a liability thing for me also. So I have to start thinking that.
I'm not even sure if, again, these buildings, the water from these buildings, I don't know that they don't share in some responsibility here. I just don't know.
Right.
Just heard about it.
So,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have a little time on it, Andrew.
I understand
Sorry.
completely. I just, on a hard rain, would like people to, come on back through there, see what's going on. There is videos of it. and just would like something to be done about it. You know, it is an issue, and would like it taken care of.
I just would say, my only concern would be, you probably wanna have, Road take a look at it. 'Cause they're gonna probably have to shoot grades on that alley.
That's what I was gonna.
Unless you're gonna connect directly to the catch basin, you gotta get the flow right. And, that alley probably is pretty, I'm assuming, Andrew, that it's kinda high spots, low spots, it's holding
Correct.
water.
Correct.
So, and I don't think, is that paved or?
It's
Gravel.
There's asphalt behind.
No, our
Yes.
alleys.
But not in
Alleys.
the,
Hey,
My
but
property is not paved.
right, yours isn't.
Yeah, so I just think, I hate to have to go out there and do all this work and then the water still sits because you haven't got the grade right, and that's, so it's a little, I think there's more to it than just
Yeah,
going out there and.
I would say there is a concern about the municipal parking lot over there. There's quite a depression now that's formed, and there was a clear hole outside of the catch basin grate. So water's eroding underneath there someplace now. Dave has patched that, but that, I only would see that as a temporary patch. Just packing stuff in there is not gonna solve that problem if there's something busted in there and that water continues to move underground. So I would say what you're saying is, I think you need to get Road to take.
You literally could do this year, and 3 years from now, you
Yeah.
could be doing this again.
Again, yeah.
So I think it needs to be engineered to get it
Yes.
designed right.
I would.
I just throw this in, I know we're a long way from, but if we have to put a structure on someone else's property and it ties into the public, we're gonna have to get an easement, because we have to access it, we have to clean it out, so just make sure let us know when you're getting to the point of, designing it, so.
I'm just asking something in process.
Yeah,
You
no,
know, it's been going on long enough now, and I just would like to see something happen. At least have it talked about, you know, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously that water coming off of Main Street there, going out, down that alley, coming back to wash that culvert out like it did, not the culvert, but the catch basin,
Yeah.
as it did, you obviously know the amount of water that's coming through there.
we're definitely getting more intense storms, like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that, like, you know, like, when they hit hard, and the capacity of that road to handle that much water is probably not where it needs to be, so.
You know, maybe discussion, I mean, at that same time, maybe redo that municipal parking, because it is sinking. If you walk back there, you can see the concrete, everything's falling in, you know,
So there's an issue there.
yeah,
Okay, well,
appreciate it for listening.
we'll have to get on this. I don't know what the timeframe will be, but.
Oh, I understand,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, moving on. We got the Semcog renewal. Michelle, you wanna take that?
Well, we gotta,
I think I asked Ann about it because we were going through a process to approve MML membership, and I thought we should do it with SEMCOG as
yeah,
well.
that's why it's
And
here.
I would say that I do get good benefit out of SEMCOG and use them fairly regularly. Again, I've got a class coming
You
up.
wanna tell us what you got out of it, just to share that information?
A lot of information. I mean, they give me points of contact for one, and suggestions on how to solve various problems that we have in the village. One I'm looking at right now is just downtown development. I'm not that smart, so those guys.
Nothing
help me
on
with-
getting grants or?
I have asked for,
Yeah.
for grant assistance and so on, so, they have pointed me in, various directions for grants. I haven't necessarily taken the time to apply, but that's one of the things.
I meant for any department, not just water.
Oh, yeah, they do all kinds of
Because,
transportation related, activities and so on.
We wanna make sure, you know, this is figure $1,000, I'm not saying, you know, if we get good if we get, you know, some good things out of it, it's well worth it,
Yeah.
but we don't wanna be just throwing our money away.
No, I find it very beneficial. I owe Mike already information on master planning. They provide free support for that, so I'd say take advantage of it. I gotta give him the information, he can decide whether he wants to.
You guys aren't working with Semcog yet, though?
Yeah, it's not, they're not gonna do the master plan for us.
I know.
But they will help
They would assist
But-
possibly.
advise on.
They'll be done by the time you get some information, it sounds like.
No.
You're working on it right now, right?
Those guys are very fast.
They're not gonna
Very
get that
fast.
done.
It doesn't go that fast.
That master plan doesn't, I've been there, so.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm gonna
But,
make
you wanna make a
a,
motion?
yeah, motion to approve the invoice from SEMCOG, which is Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, to continue membership until March 31st, 2026, in the amount of $956.
Support.
Ready?
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Garzick,
Yes.
Adair,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Cronin,
Yes.
Stewart.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Are there any other citizen comments? Oh, wait, excuse me, I apologize. Upcoming agenda items.
Generator lift station.
So I'll be back with information on USG's water tower determination and UIS SCADA on our SCADA system. And I'll get you the capital improvement plan, I just completely forgot about it.
Are there any now?
But there won't be, those won't be any motions, right? They're
Not
just
the-
gonna be an update?
Well, I will likely have contracts ready to go,
Okay,
quotes,
alright,
and,
perfect, okay,
okay,
Alright.
I'll leave it at that.
okay.
Well, if you have those, let her know and she'll get it on the agenda. Now we're at citizen comments, sorry.
Yeah, hi, Annie, resident. Two things. So we're doing the community cleanup on Earth Day, and I was wondering if any of you would happen to know like the best areas to start cleaning up
The alley.
in the alleys? Okay. And also, I'm not
That's a
sure
good
if
one.
I mentioned it before, but I have partnered with an organization called FAN, it's Face Addiction Now. And we are doing a free opioid overdose response training on May 4th. It's from 4 to 5.
Is that at your building?
Yes, it's at the shop, and then everyone who participates in the training gets a free Narcan kit and a certification of completion of the training. And then I will also be having them install a rescue box in my building and filling it with 30 Narcan kits. So when people need Narcan, they can come there and get it for free.
Nice.
So just want to say that. I think that's it.
Annie, I'm gonna mention the creek too.
The what?
Creek, along the creek,
For cleanup.
for cleanup, birthday cleanup.
Oh,
Birthday,
okay. Yes.
And the parks we talked about.
Years ago, we
Yeah.
walked that creek and cleaned it up,
Yeah, it gets a lot of
You
stuff.
should
You
probably
know
let
why
residents know
why
if we're gonna
I
do that
did.
though, for people that live on the creek.
Sandborn.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, we're technically in their backyard and stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
I
and
appreciate
he-
you.
yes,
Yeah.
Who was the congressman, now he's, what are the townships, Assabet.
Activity?
Okay, any, council comments? Okay, community events, again, you might wanna, mention what Ann just said there. What day is that again?
What day is that?
The Earth Day,
Yes,
Earth Day cleanup is on Tuesday the 22nd from 10 a.m. to noon.
Of April, or
Yes.
22?
Yeah.
And what was the
then
other one you had?
The opioid overdose, training, so that is on May 4th from 4 to 5.
And where's it,
That is at the sanctuary at my shop.
Okay,
And that's free training.
okay. Well, there's no closed sessions tonight, so, could I have a motion of adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:57.
All in favor of the motion?
Hold on,
Oh,
give me a
support
second.
by Melky.
Yeah, lots of support.
Clark.
Clark?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, everybody seconded the motion.
Well, you still
But
have
me,
to finish it.
all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.